As prices keep rising ahead of the midterm elections, messaging surrounding the economy could be more important than ever for the Biden administration. Joining us now to talk about this, Frank Luntz, pollster, communications consultant, and CEO of FIL. Frank, it's great to see you. We've been talking this hour about rising inflation, a weakening economy, a war in Ukraine. Some people are already, as you well know, comparing Joe Biden to Jimmy Carter. He's not even halfway through his first term. How does Joe Biden and the Democrats at large message on this malaise, if I can use that term, ahead of the midterms?
Well, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to blame the Republicans for all of this. They're trying to raise Donald Trump whenever they can because Trump is less popular. Although how things have changed so much in the last 100 days is that the polls that I've seen have Donald Trump ahead of Joe Biden if there were to be a rematch. That clearly the voters are not just frustrated, not just anxious, they're actually angry at rising prices on food, on fuel, on things that people need. And unless the Biden administration acknowledges that it got things wrong, acknowledges that their policies have not worked, at least in the current environment, I don't see how they right the ship, quite frankly. I believe the Republicans win the House, but I still think the Democrats keep the Senate.
Interesting. So you mentioned Donald Trump there, and with that in mind on the Senate, primaries are going to get underway in earnest in May here. There are three big ones, Ohio, Georgia, Pennsylvania, where Donald Trump has planted his flag and made endorsements. Is his kingmaker status really on the line, or does it not matter what happens in these races for kind of a bounce back on Donald Trump because of the hold he has on the Republican Party?
It does matter. It matters significantly, and everybody's going to be watching it. That up until now, he's raised more money than any other politician in the history of American politics. That his fundraising base is based on their expectation that he does run 2 years from now, 3 years from now. And they believe that he's still impactful. If he should lose those primaries, and particularly the governor's race, that's the one I'm watching. The governor's race in Georgia, because he hates Brian Kemp.
He does.
He blames Brian Kemp for why he's not president. If he should fail to win that race, or fail to win at least one of the two Senate races he's involved in, Ohio and Pennsylvania, then yes, he is going to be hurt. But right now, make no mistake, Donald Trump is the front runner for 2024.
Frank, I've been looking forward to asking you about the situation in Florida, the fight between Governor DeSantis and Disney. DeSantis is getting huge marks in the culture war here. It's resonating very well for his brand. He's out talking about it, it seems, almost every day. But could this be destructive to the Republican pro-business brand?
Well, I urge every CEO watching, and a lot of them do, to pay close attention, because if Disney could have trouble mixing in politics, then every single company can. And Disney, with the best corporate reputation in America and one of the best across the globe, that it should get mixed up in this. What bothers me is not actually what DeSantis has done, because Rick DeSantis is a very smart politician. What bothers me is that we now look for every reason to divide as a society and in politics. We look for every opportunity to own the opposition. The fact is, most parents don't want their 7-year-olds talking about sexual identity. And most workers, employees, don't want their company involved in politics. So quite frankly, this is a tragedy. It's a symbol of what's to come over the next few months and even the next few years. Corporate America should focus on satisfying their customers, should focus on making their employees happy and healthy, serving their communities. And the American people are saying, stay out of politics. And they say to the elected officials, don't try to own the corporation, just do your job.
Well, how about supporting your employees in their political views? That was what Chapin was trying to do here, right? The Chapik, rather, was trying to do here after his employees rose up and said, no, wait a minute, this isn't fair what's going on in Florida.
I want to give Bob Chapek credit, and I think he deserves it, for standing up for his people. But what the public says is do so on an individual basis. Back your people in their causes and their mission, but don't tie your company to those individual causes, because it may not be the cause of another employee. It may not be the cause of the customers that you serve. Chapek was trying to say to his people, you matter, I hear you, you count. Brilliant. But he should have done so on an individual basis rather than adding the corporate moniker to it.
Based on what you just told me about Disney and what you said earlier about Donald Trump, how important are Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Ohio to gauging whether Governor DeSantis could in fact be a frontrunner himself in 2024?
Oh, I think he is a front runner. And in fact, if Donald Trump doesn't run, I think Governor DeSantis is the most likely presidential candidate. And you know what? He's been a good governor. If you look at the record, the economic record, the COVID record, Governor DeSantis has done everything by the book, and everything has turned out well. The question we now have is, what country will we have 3 years from now? Will we be able to have conversations like the one you and I are having? We'll be able to disagree without destroying each other. That's what I'm concerned about. You know what? There are things more important than profit. There are things more important than elections. The health and safety of the American people and the strength and security of our democracy, that's what matters most.
Well, those are huge concerns that you're illustrating, Frank Luntz. What you're describing there is the decline of America, is it not?
I know that. It is. It is. I acknowledge that. And that's why I'm begging, because you've got the wealthiest audience on television is watching this show right now and listening to it on radio. And I'm saying to the people there that the size of your bank account is actually less important than the strength of our democracy. And I appreciate opportunities like this to challenge the political world and the corporate world at the same time, and the cultural world. Please do the right thing for the right reasons.
This is why I wanted to talk to you today, Frank Luntz. Thank you very much.